Now, I'm not usually one to complain. Honestly, some people in my Discord and my YouTube streams have gone to the point to even call me a game freak or Pokemon apologist. But this Friday, the Shiny Miraidon and Koraidon codes were an absolute mess. It has gotten so bad that I feel like a majority of my social media, which is mostly just Pokemon people, especially competitive Pokemon people, have done nothing but talk about how they were not able to get a code at all, myself included, which really stinks. So here's the rundown. You probably know by now, but on September 26th, today, at the time of recording, these codes came out. First day they were available, and in the United States, you had to get them through Gamestop. Now, in other places around the world, you can get them other stores, but you had to go to a store to get it. But they also released a new TCG set, the Mega Evolution set, and that is a very hyped set. Mega Evolution is coming back. Pokemon ZA releases in a couple of weeks here. Pokemon cards have been getting scalped out the wazoo. So, of course, most of the people who are going to be at that GameStop during their opening are going to be scalpers that are hardcore fans. And when you sit there and you give out code cards the same day that you're drawing in a bunch of scalpers, it's bound to be a mess. Most stores, from what I'm hearing from not only the stores that I've called, but from other people on social media, most stores were gone, done, out of the cards within the first 2 hours. Some of them even shorter, based on the size. And I think it's due to a multitude of problems. One, what I'm hearing is that most stores only got 50 to 60 code cards, which is not a lot, especially when you factor in that, yes, it's only supposed to be one per person, but most people are getting more. Most stores will be like, hey, you have both versions of the game, we'll give you two. That's maybe 25 people, 50 people, best case scenario. They were gone. They were absolutely gone. By the time I got off of work, I drove to the closest GameStop to my work, and they said they were out in the first hour. And so I called the GameStop that was closest to my house because I didn't want to drive there if I was going to leave empty-handed. And they told me that they were out within the first 2 hours. So, and my GameStop is actually pretty good on enforcing limits. It's not really that big of a problem. But yeah, of course, if you're going after 4 or 5 o'clock on a TCG day, you're probably not getting that many cards, if any at all. But we've never had this problem before with the code cards where they've given so little that even when they were giving out multiple cards, like, people ran out. And I've done these events before. I've been doing these events for a while. Some of these codes, this Lechonk here, was never redeemed because they were able to give out so many. Of course, there's a big difference between a Terraflying Lechonk and a Shiny Miraidon or Koraidon, but we have done this before. We've done this with Zacian. We've done it with Zamazenta. I'm showing them upside down. We've done this with Eternatus. And all of these cards, I have multiple. I bet you this Eternatus here, and I actually gave these out on Twitter and on YouTube years ago. So these ones are all used. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards. I have 6 of them. I have 6. And I have code cards going all the way back to, let's see, which they started doing the smaller ones. X and Y. 20th anniversary. This one also unused. This was before I had a channel, or I would have given one away. But this one expired in May of 2016. Like this card here is 10 years old, and it's just a bummer. And honestly, like when you hear that most stores only got 50 to 60 code cards, with the climate around Pokemon cards, Pokemon scalping, scalping in general, 50 code cards was never gonna be enough. So like, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't blame my local GameStop. I don't blame them at all. I don't think it was their fault. I think it's the fact that they gave out these code cards. They started this distribution on the same day as a TCG set where they knew scalpers were going to be involved. Uh, Pokemon has commented on the scalping climate before. They're aware of it. And then they only send a small amount of code cards to every store, knowing that this is going to be an issue. And it even comes down to like the fact that like I still don't think that the problem is that they're making you go in store, because I get it. You want to give the brick and mortar stores a reason to keep your product up, to sell your product, to tolerate like having your stuff on the shelves, to promote your stuff. But it's Pokemon, man. It's Pokemon. And these are being scalped to high heaven. So you know that people, especially the scalpers, got a bunch, and they were on eBay before I even got off of work. Like, it's insane. Look at this 5 pack of codes for $250. You can pre-order the code somehow, even though like almost everywhere in the world is just sold out of them for $33. This one here is definitely gender cloned, whatever it is, but this one is definitely if you take this to a tournament, like you're risking getting disqualified. More pre-orders, $55, $58, $26. That's not bad, but it's a bidding. And like two of them for $132, $38, 47, 26, 27, 41, like 350. Like it says untouched, so I'm assuming it's probably duped or genned. $30, 32. These are Japanese ones. And how much are they? Let's look at the sold listings. How much are they actually selling for? Someone paid 40, 30, 30, 45, 40, 35. Like people are actually paying for these, and I mean that's great. Like if you like have the money to do that, go right ahead. Like these are the people that don't care, that have the money. But like $100, $100, $50. It's insane. And look at all these. Look at all these codes sent to DMs. Like that GameStop didn't follow the limit. That GameStop didn't follow the limit. Granted, they probably have like multiple people with them because, like I said, they're scalpers. But it's still like, and these are all sold. Like this event started less than 24 hours ago. Technically, since GameStops don't open until like 10, 11, this event is less than 12, 11 hours old. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Oh, this person, they're posting their receipt. I wonder if they did this to like claim not to be a scalper. I wonder if, oh, look, I really bought something. No, I still think you're a terrible person for selling a free code item that you didn't want because you're selling it for $45 when people can't get it. And these listings go on and on and on. So like 133 results in the sold. How many in the not sold? 178. And as you can see, like some of these listings have multiple codes. It's just obnoxious. If you're scalping these, if you're selling these code cards on eBay, I hope that Taco Bell discontinues your favorite item just in your area. I hope that the IRS audits you. I hope that when after you shower, you always have to go to the bathroom right after you shower, so you never feel clean. You never truly feel clean cuz that's you're filthy. You're filthy. And so my question is, are they even going to try to fix this? My biggest concern is no, they're not going to try to fix it. Um they might try to give Shiny Miraidon and Koraidon out in other ways. That might be okay. But still, like, this was just the amount was a giant blunder. So, like, I feel like this one is on Pokemon and Nintendo, because even if your GameStop was enforcing the one per customer limit, 50 was not going to be enough. Like, how big like the TCG is right now, how big collectibles are, how big limited time items are being scalped and resold and bought up. They had to have known. They had to have known. And I've given them credit on like a lot of their choices with the Mega Greninja, Mega Chestnut, and all that stuff. Like, honestly, if you're playing Pokemon and you're playing competitive, like, you should probably have online. With the DLC, we knew that ZA got delayed a year so it could have a Switch 2 version. So, like, I can see why the DLC is near completion, and they're technically not, like, it's not available day one. It's not day one DLC. It won't come out on release. And so I've given them a lot of leeway, more leeway than most people have. Like, I've talked to my Discord groups, and a lot of people are annoyed that they have to pay online to get those Mega Stones. That there's DLC before the game even comes out. They feel like they're getting sold an incomplete game. And honestly, like, I'm gonna play hundreds of hours with Pokemon, so like I don't feel that way. But with this here, there are so many factors that everyone involved knew about, that should have known that the amount of code cards that GameStop was getting was not enough. And you know what this leads to? This leads to more people being willing to pay, like, because right next to the code cards that are going for $50, $40, $30 for the actual codes, there are people right next to them for $4, for $10, for $12, giving gen versions of this distribution, giving duped or cloned versions of these legendaries. So if Pokemon and Nintendo were really against the whole genning thing, then they would have made this more widely available. And it could have been a mystery gift. I know a lot of people have been saying that. People just want to log on. I get why they're building that relationship with stores, but they should have been more prepared. They really should have. Like, I hope they do something to make it up. Whether it is a mystery gift, whether it's print more codes, I don't know. But right now, I think this is ridiculous. I didn't get any physical codes myself. Luckily enough, I had someone in my Discord who had 3 codes, and they said, hey, if you get me Shiny Koraidon, I'll give you my extra code. And I was able to do that for them. But it still feels like a hollow experience. Like, I don't want a cloned version of this. I don't want a gen version of this. Like, I could go, oh yeah, it's legal. It'll go into Pokemon Home. I want to actually get it myself. You know, this leaves it like a bad taste in my mouth. There have been so many people on social media, like, honestly, complaining about this. For every one person I see actually post their shinies, I probably have 7 or 8 people in between talking about how there are no codes in their area. I've seen people say, I've called 8 GameStops near me, and there's nothing. But they're all over eBay. I'm looking at a listing right now. I can buy 5 codes for $250. Like, what is that? That's nuts. They need to print more codes. They need to make it a mystery gift distribution. What happened to Pokemon Pass? Like, Pokemon Pass prevented this problem. For those of you who don't know, Pokemon Pass was like an app-based distribution method where you had to go to that location, scan a QR code, and then you were able to get codes on the app. So like it was basically the mystery. It was the code cards. You just didn't get a physical card. You still had to go to the store. You still had to walk in. You had to have an app. I think it was, honestly, it was probably people like me who ruined it, because back in the day I used to make videos on how you could use Pokemon Pass and just scan a picture of the QR code and spoof your GPS location to a GameStop and get the codes. But that is still better than people selling these code cards for 50, 60, hundreds of dollars. It's still better than people buying gen or cloned or duped versions of these distribution Pokemon. It's still better than not getting it at all. I don't know. I'm so bummed. I wanted to get a code. I wanted to make a video about, whoa, look at my shiny legendaries. I got them from GameStop. Couldn't do that. I wanted to get a few extras and do giveaways, because no matter how many they give, there's still some places that are so highly populated that they're still gonna like miss out on. Like they're only gonna get one code. So like I used to grab extras and do giveaways. Can't do any of that. And I also know that like complaining about this is a very privileged thing to do. Like the fact that this is the worst part of my week compared to everything else going on in the world, like it's a very privileged position to be in. But it still sucks. I don't know. Did you get a code? Did it work for you? Tell me how you think GameStop sucks in the comments down below. I don't feel like it's GameStop's fault. I think this one's on Pokemon and Nintendo, like for sure. And that's a bummer, because this is just a free thing. Like, just print more cards. Hopefully that happens. But that's going to be all. Till next time, I'm Zach, and we'll see everyone later.